welcome everybody to this webinar. My name is Veronica Brunwyn, and I am the Chief Product Officer at Relayware. And I'm delighted to be joined today by Juan Morales, who's Senior Marketing Manager at Nutanix, who has very kindly agreed to give us his personal perspective on this topic, based on his recent experience of creating a partner portal for his own company, Nutanix. Juan, would you like to tell us a little bit about Nutanix and introduce yourself?
Absolutely, my pleasure, Veronica. Thank you for having me in your webinar today. So Nutanix is a startup. It's a startup that was founded in 2009. It's a company that does software-defined storage. We are based in Silicon Valley, in San Jose, in California. And we are a company that sells entirely through the channel, 100%, globally and entirely through the channel. So the channel, of course, is the only way that we go to market, and it's really important for us. And also from a company perspective, perhaps it's worth mentioning that we have been growing quite importantly during the last year since we were founded in 2009. And actually in December, we filed to go public, and hopefully that's something that we'll be able to accomplish in this 2016 that for sure will be also very exciting.
Okay, great, thank you. And for anybody who is not familiar to Relayware, let me introduce our company a little bit. Relayware is a company dedicated to partner relationship management. We have significant domain expertise in this area, and the majority of our team members have worked in the channel and with the channel for most of their careers. And that domain expertise is embedded into our software product, which is also called Relayware, and is the leading dedicated PRM solution available on the marketplace today. In 2015, we saw an unprecedented interest in our product, resulting in great customer growth. And already in 2016 looks to be just as exciting a year from a PRM perspective, based on the number of people who have registered for this webinar. So welcome to that, and I hope you find it helpful. The agenda that we've put forward today is firstly a brief discussion of what makes an effective partner portal, and then we will move on rapidly to 5 tips for success. And for each of those tips, we're going to focus very much on Juan's experience in developing his partner portal and what his partners are finding most valuable in using it. So firstly, what makes a successful partner portal? If I was introducing this topic 5, 6 years ago, you would all have been thinking about partner portals as being fairly static websites, repositories of documentation, places where partners could go to get box shots, to download brochures, and not a great deal more. But PRM has moved on, as have most SaaS web applications, and the portals that we build today are focused very much more on driving and rewarding partners, both in terms of their engagement with your organization, their levels of activity, and also in very tangibly in terms of their revenue growth, so that they are both growing their own revenues and your revenues as they engage with you in the partner program. For companies focusing on business-to-business selling, in today's web-based global market, there's plenty of evidence that selling through the channel is the fastest route to revenue growth. And this SaaS survey from late 2014 shows that very effectively, that companies with either a channel sales model like Nutanix or companies with a mixed model, defined here as where more than 50% of sales are going through the channel, were significantly outperforming more traditional companies working with field sales forces alone. So that really accounts in part for the accelerated interest that we are seeing in partner portals at this point in time. And many companies are either building a partner ecosystem for the first time and growing the number of channel partners and the number of geographies where they have partner ecosystems, or indeed those who've been working with the channel for some time are reviewing and optimizing the partners that they have and looking to accelerate revenue growth through their channel. And Relayware has been working actively with both of these types of customers in order to make sure that we're providing great tools that the partners can use and that will really produce the return on investment that our customers seek. So a truly effective partner portal will have tools within it and capabilities within it that support partners and provide value to partners at each stage of the partner life cycle. So when you're onboarding a new portal, you want it to be attractive, you want it to be compelling, you want it to be fast and easy to get registered and to get onboarded and to really get those partners excited about working with you. And we'll be talking about how to achieve that in a moment. As the partners have become more familiar with your product, you want them to return to the portal. Again, ease of use is key, but also personalization, making it easy for them to find the information they need based on their relationship to you and based on their personal interests, so that they, when they have a choice of vendors, a choice of products and ways to access information or ways to sell, they will make the choice to use your portal and to work with your company rather than your competition. So ease of use and personalization are key to that stage where you are enabling partners to work with you. And then as the relationship becomes more mature and you want to engage and expand that relationship, it's important that you have tools within your portal that will stimulate repeat visits so that your partners are not just comfortable with using your partner portal, but they actively want to, whether those incentives are financial, relationship-based, or even based around gamification, to encourage them and make them comfortable with working with your organization. So tools around engagement are also key. And then finally, we wouldn't be in this business if we didn't seek to support the sales that your partners are making. So we will talk about various forms of sales tool, lead generation tool, and incentivization that you can deploy within your partner portal. And we'll talk about which of those is most effective at supporting your partners, engaging them, and really hitting the spot to build a great partner relationship. So there we are. A good partner portal is easy to use, has a range of tools within it to support every part of the partner life cycle, and is personalized to the needs of the particular partner that we're dealing with. And when I refer to partners, I'm not just referring to the partner as an organizational entity. I'm actually referring to the individual person within that partner. Because as with any company, your partners are made up of individuals, and individuals have varying needs and varying preferences. And so with a Relayware partner portal, you can respond to and meet the needs of those individuals within each of your partners. So we promised that we would go through 5 tips for making that partner portal the best in your competitive landscape and compelling for your partner. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the most straightforward thing, and the thing that people always ask us when they first come to speak to Relayware about a portal, and that is the design of the portal. And clearly, in a competitive world where you're seeking to promote your brand compared to your competition, look and feel and is absolutely crucial to getting your message across. And you need a portal that will be configurable in terms of the look and feel, and one that is not static, one that you can change, you can work through, one you can develop as time goes on and as the needs of your company goes on. And that's exactly what we deliver within Relayware. Our customers' portals are very much focused on representing their brand, representing their brand values and their brand stylings. And as you can see here, they can be configured in a variety of different ways depending on your particular requirements. Some of them may be using Relayware templated designs or indeed our bespoke design service for a more sophisticated look. But whichever you choose, you can be sure that your design and your company style guidelines will be fully represented in your partner portal. So that's a very important first step. And a second thing that is worth mentioning, although rather difficult to demonstrate in the course of a webinar, is that today people don't just look at partner portals on their laptop or their PC. They regularly wish to access your portals via tablets and iPhones or other smartphones. Indeed, we had one customer who evaluated the usage of their training area within their partner portal and discovered that over 75% of all training accesses were being made from tablets rather than from PCs. So it's absolutely vital that whatever the design of the portal, it operates smoothly and efficiently and on all formats, all screen sizes, and all orientations. And that's something that's built into the Relayware product. It's mobile ready from the get-go. There's no need for expensive coding of responsive style sheets. That is already built in within Relayware. So we're providing a unique, customizable portal design that is mobile ready for you. Very important in order to engage the partners and make them excited about working with your company. So I'm now going to hand over to Joanne, who is going to tell us a little bit about how Nutanix designed their partner portal and the strategies they've adopted to make it attractive to partners.
Thank you, Veronica. So yes, in our case, we wanted to make a very simple to use, very clean partner portal. And when we had, the moment, and it was our time, like more than a year ago, when we had to look at the market and look, all right, what are the different alternatives that are available in the market? We looked all the different providers of PRM software. We did all our due diligence, and without doubt, Relayware for us was the company that really got the highest mark in being able to deliver a well-branded, easy-to-use partner portal. And the easy-to-use has to be not only for the user, for your channel partner, and they have to be able to find things, to navigate, to recognize the brand in the portal, but it's actually even more important that it's easy to maintain, easy to update, because if it's not easy to update and maintain, what happens with a partner portal is that it's not updated, and then if it's not updated, people don't come because they don't find the latest information. So all of those things were high demands for us, and they were some of the most important reasons of why we chose to go with Relayware, and why we designed the portal that we designed, something that is easy to maintain, something that is completely responsive, as you said, yes, completely. I mean, that was absolutely a mandatory requirement, right? I mean, you need a portal that has to be able to be responsive in a smartphone and a tablet, whatever ecosystem it is. So all of those were the requirements, and we were able to accomplish them. And perhaps if we move to the next slide, we have, this is the home page. And in the next slide, we have other screenshots that I provided, where it gives you an idea of how simple, we designed the portal. Something where you can find information, where partners can find the resources, competitive knowledge, analyst reports, wherever you want. And something that you can update, or we can update at any moment of time, without having to involve our IT department, without having to open a ticket, right? At least for us, we were coming from an experience before where we had been using Salesforce as our partner portal, and it was really painful for us. It had been really painful before, because for every single major change that we had to do in the portal, we had to touch HTML code. And we are not developers. I mean, I am a marketing person. We are a marketing department. We own the portal, as I'm sure that many of the people in the audience, they are marketing and they own the portal. So it has to be something easy to use for a marketing audience that they can just manage it from end to end. And that was, again, one of the other requirements, something easy to maintain without any knowledge of HTML. You can manage it, and because you have, and we'll see that later, an admin tool that basically has a WYSIWYG editor, what you see, what you get kind of editor. And if you want also, you have the possibility to go into the HTML, which, from once to time, perhaps twice a year you will do that. But for the 99% of the edits that you have to do, you just edit a portal that is as simple to edit as you would edit a Word document. So perhaps if we go to the next slide also as well, we have, I think we have a screenshot here, for example, of my deal registration. So not only we were able to integrate in Relayware all our marketing and the content and the training, but also all our deal registration. And the way we did it was to launch a portal that on the back end is completely integrated with Salesforce, right? So because although we don't use Salesforce anymore as our partner portal, because it was not a good experience, because it was hard to maintain, because it was expensive, probably many of you suffer the costs of the licenses of Salesforce in terms of the partner portal, which they make you pay per portal user, and that's, it's insane, the cost that they charge you. Well, although that was not something that we could sustain, still as a CRM, of course, we decided to continue using Salesforce. So we needed a portal that we could manage, it could be easy to deploy, and that could be synchronized with our CRM, with our Salesforce in real time, because we have our deal registration process, right? So that's also something that we were able to accomplish with Relayware, and it was one of the most important requirements. A partner portal that is easy to maintain, that doesn't have the huge cost of Salesforce, that you can control it and edit it from marketing without having to open a ticket with IT, without having to touch the HTML code, none of that. And more importantly, that on the back end, everything is completely live synchronized with Salesforce. So that's, some of the requirements that we were able to put in place, always with a nice look and feel, as I hope that you also like our partner portal, and completely responsive.
Okay, thank you. That's certainly given us a first peek at the Nutanix portal, and we'll be seeing a little bit more of it and talking a little bit more about it further on. So I'd now like to move on to the second point that we think makes partner portals really compelling from a partner point of view, and that we would recommend to you. And that is the area of personalization. As Juan said, ease of use, ease of maintenance, ease of setup, but not compromising on the functionality in order to make it easy to work. And so what we believe and what we deliver with a Relayware partner portal is that the content that is seen is tailored to the individual. So based on the information that you know about each individual person who registers for your program, which company they come from, which geography they're based in, which language they speak, what their job role is, which products they have signed up to resell, how much training they have received, what certifications they have achieved, etc., etc. You can set visibility rules for all the elements of your partner portal, so that when somebody signs in and logs in or links through to the partner portal from a third-party website, the portal will automatically adapt and personalize the information it displays based on its knowledge of that individual person. And that is really very powerful, because what that enables you to do is to build program elements without any recourse to developers or complex rules engines that are personalized to an individual, so that your MDF program is made available to the marketers in your partner organization, so that your suppose you have a parts ordering system that is only available to people who are certified service engineers, and that they must be trained in the particular product before they are allowed to order parts for that product. Or if you have an incentive program that is only available to gold tier partners, that incentive program will only show to gold tier partners. So the rules are rules that you set up based on the needs of your business and your partner program. But the personalization is automated within the portal, requires no development involvement, can be managed by marketers, and can be there for every single individual within your partner organization. So this is a very key element of making the portal stand out from your competition. The personalization, it means that people aren't overwhelmed with content that's not relevant to them. It means they can get to the content they want to see very easily. And now I'm going to hand back to Joan again, who's going to tell us a little bit about how they've used that concept in their Relayware implementation to really work with their partners.
Thank you, Veronica. So yes, actually you hit in also one of the most important features that we were looking in a portal when we had to make our decision more than a year ago. And it's one of the most important features of our current partner portal that we have with you guys, with Relayware. And it's basically the fact that you can control, what elements are visible to who, right? And the way I think about it is that many times you want, certain elements, certain pages, certain files to be visible by geography, by language, by type of partner, by whatever you want. You can control that and you can define that in Relayware. So we were able to completely customize that. And again, something that we always can manage, and we manage from marketing. So without need of our involving any of our IT department. It's something that once it's set up, it's completely easy to do, easy to use. And it has enabled us not only to have one partner portal. I mean, today we have 5 different portal experiences that live within the same platform. So, and it has enabled us to create completely almost like 5 different partner portal experiences. Although everything is in the same container, everything is the same solution, but it's a completely different portal experience. So it's really flexible. It's one of the strengths of the admin tool, of the Relayware system, of the solution that they provide, and has enabled us, to accomplish our objective of personalizing. And it allows you, actually, one of the nice things I like is that you can manage this visibility at many different levels. You can manage that at the file level or at the page level, however you want, or both. So you can define, for example, this file that is showing in a list, within a page, and imagine that you have different analyst reports. You only can show this file in the US, because imagine you only have the rights to show that file in the US. Well, you can control that in Relayware. Or instead, you can create a page and say, all right, this page only will be visible for your elite partners within your channel program. So you can completely do that, and everything is it's the same solution, but it's a different experience. So that was one of our, at least one of the most important requirements, to be able to manage the visibility and the control access very easily at a click and just in seconds. I mean, many times we create a page in the portal, and it's a process that for us it takes like 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, as long as you have the content, it's just copy paste, create the page, new page, you decide where you want to have the page in the portal, you control who has the right to see that page, and you put it live, and that's all. And from start to finish, it's a process that takes like 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, that's, for me, was the dream that I had when we moved away from a solution that, as I was explaining before, I had to make a request to my IT department before. I had to wait for them. We had interactions, you know, back and forth. Yes, this is how we have done it. No, that's not how I wanted. No, all of that is gone. Now we have a way to self-serve us from a partner portal perspective. So that has been a little bit our experience in this regard, Veronica. And actually, in the next slide, I think I added, you know, some of the aspects that you can control and you have visibility. So when you go, and I actually added a screenshot of the admin tool because I thought that it would be very interesting for the audience to see not only the front end of the portal, but the back end, the part of the portal that you, as administrators of the portal, will be working every single day, right? So it's a very easy to use admin tool that allows you, again, WYSIWYG, HTML editor, control the visibility, do a preview of the page, have the stats right available on any single page, you know, control the localization. One of the things that also we wanted is we are a company that is global already. And although our portal at this moment is on English, only available in English, we are starting to create pages and content that is available in multiple languages. So we wanted to have a solution that right from out of the box could be configurable at any moment with just our own efforts and without having to involve any other party to be able to scale into any other language. So this is actually what the admin looks like of our tool. So this is, for example, the CMS, and you can control every single aspect of your portal with the admin tool that you will have access, and you can have different admin users, and you can control who does what. So you can have an admin user, for example, that only can control the editing of the pages, another one that can control, I don't know, the training aspect, the deal registration, the communication. You have full control of all of that from a back end. And it's really simple. It's all web-based. It's a SaaS solution, as probably all you know. And so you have that flexibility. And now what I'm doing is, since we are growing as a company, some of the content is already not generated at headquarters. So some of the content needs to be generated in the different regional marketing centers that we have. So basically with this system, I can give them access to just the content that they need to edit, and they can just create content that will be, for example, visible for a specific region and not for the rest of the world. So again, different aspects that you can control out of the box. And again, without having to involve IT, just being able to do that, and with a tool that is easy enough even for a person like me.
I'm sure you're very competent at using IT systems, Joan. But thank you for that. And that sort of covers the early stage experience for the partners. So they've come into the portal, they realize that it's well branded, it reflects the company's branding, and they've had a personalized experience so that things they are seeing are there, visible for them. And as Joan was saying, that's really easy for marketing managers to set up. It's not an IT process. But let's move on a little bit now for the partner experience, and let's look at how we can drive the partner's behavior by using the various tools within the Relayware system and within the partner portal. And this really talks to the start of our topic of growing revenue by using well-designed partner portals. I think it's probably fair to say that we have all signed up to websites at one time or another. And initially, it's appeared very exciting, and there is usually a welcome email that comes and that tells you what all the benefits of being a member of that community or having access to that website. So the initial experience is usually very good, but I'm sure there are also plenty of us who have signed up for those websites, and after 2 or 3 visits, our enthusiasm has dropped off, and we don't go back there again. And I know I have plenty of apps on my tablet that I've been to 2 or 3 times and never again. And clearly that's not the experience we want to have with our partner portal, because as this slide says, partnering is not a one-time event. And partner sales, channel sales, or partner relationships are not a one-time event. Often new partnerships are driven by a particular single sales opportunity, and the partner will come to you and will successfully close that initial sales opportunity. And the challenge for you as channel managers, as partner marketing managers, is to turn that first sale into a second, into a third, into repeat business. And that is where Relayware can help. And we call this process onboarding. And we have a methodology that has been proven highly successful that we can work with you to define and set up the tools within your partner portal that will encourage your partners' onboarding experience, so that they don't just log into the portal once, but they return, they repeat, they take all the training, they really engage with you and become highly effective partners for your organization. So here are a few hints and tips in terms of onboarding new partners. Firstly, in terms of registration, which is the first experience that your new partner, or indeed a new person at an existing partner will have, don't ask them too much information at the registration process. Value their time. Registration within Relayware is completely configurable so that you can make the process that you need. But what we recommend is that you keep the form limited and you keep the amount of information you request in each session limited. And because of Relayware's configurable workflows, you can always go back to them at a later stage and ask for additional information. And once they are engaged, once they are approved and signed up and seeing value in their partnership with you, they may be much more willing to provide that more detailed information. So only ask them for the information that they need to get them going. But having said that, you really will get the most value out of them if you can direct them and encourage them and coach them into the usage of your partner portal, particularly in the early stage where you're looking to educate them about your product, about its features, about its capabilities, and about how to sell it. So you provide self-service training, and naturally Relayware helps you to do that. But the trick is not just to provide it, the trick is to coach them and encourage them to take the relevant training, again, not all in one block, but drip feeding it over time. So what we do within Relayware is we work with our customers to provide, to set up with them a journey, an onboarding journey, using our triggered workflows, so that over a period of time, you can nurture them and nurture their onboarding experience. So for example, you might, during the first 30 days of your partner's experience, encourage them using outbound calls from your account management team, using emails and messages to encourage them to watch your videos, to access your training content. put notifications into the portal to congratulate them on taking the training, and to show them new areas of the portal, maybe with orientation videos or battle cards or other elements that will help them get familiar with selling your product. You can also weave in the use of partner webinars, encouraging them to register for those so that they can have live training or attendance at partner events. The onboarding process will be something that's very specific to your business, to the tools that you have, and to the process that you want to work through with your partners as they onboard. But we're using Relayware. You can set that up, and then automatically, as each new partner is registered to the program, as each new person within the partner is registered to the program, you can have the confidence that they will be getting the best possible experience during that initial time that they are with you. And there's real tangible evidence that this works. We were working with one customer who decided to run a test. They had a very sophisticated 90-day long onboarding process that they had designed and were configuring up. And they decided that for the first 90 days, they would introduce that onboarding process to 50% of their new partners. And the other 50%, they would leave to access the portal, to access the training using the old method. And having done that, they discovered a very noticeable uplift in sales effectiveness and in the number of deal registrations and the number of sales closed from the partners who had been through the formal directed onboarding process. So naturally, at the end of that trial, they converted all partners across to their onboarding process, and they experienced significant sales growth as a result of that. So we know that onboarding works. We know it's the most effective way of engaging with your new partners and really getting them excited about selling your product. And Joan is going to talk a little bit about this topic and how he has been working with his partners to do this.
Thank you, Veronica. So yeah, we actually did several kind of tactics to approach this need. So one of them, for example, is in the homepage. As you are new to Nutanix, as we call, the first time that you log in, and for the first 90 days since the first time that you log in, we are presenting content in the homepage that is only unique for those people that are new. So there are banners and there are different aspects that we invite our partners to go through as they are new to Nutanix. And basically we have created like a checklist process where, depending of the type of role that the individual has, we ask them to go through certain things. So we have created sales and marketing checklists, technical checklists, and executive checklists. And then in each one of these checklists, we have the different pieces of content or different certifications that we ask them to go through. So for example, if one was going to go into the technical, we ask them, all right, please enroll into the monthly webinar that we have for the technical audience and take the technical certification. And this would be the first training that you should be taking, and this would be the second one. But we basically want to have them engage from the very first moment in a loop of activity that sets them into a position of being productive with Nutanix. If they are a technical person, they have to be able to demo Nutanix. If they are a salesperson, they have to be able to teach Nutanix and do a successful deal registration. And the beauty is that all of this, for the simplicity of use, has to happen in the same place, in the same ecosystem. So that's why, in our case, we have within the same portal deal registration. We have webinar archive, webinar registration. We have all the content repository. We have the LMS so that you can take training. You have MDF requests so that you can, as a marketing person, and once you have gone through all the different items, you can then request MDF and so on. So that's the way that we have approached it. And you can configure all of that out of the box with Relayware. I mean, you can make content visible to certain people under certain conditions. You can have email notifications being triggered when certain things happen, so that, you know, if something is done, they receive that. And all of that activity, and we have synced it, and for those kind of key activities that we wanted, we have synced all of that with Salesforce, so that if somebody's, you know, and passes a certification, we have that record of that certificate in our Salesforce database, which is what our sales organization will use when internally they do the work that they have to do, right? So that's how we have done it, and we have been able to accomplish it with this portal solution. And in the next slide, basically, you know, thanks to the portal that we have implemented, we are able to give content that is relevant to countries around the world, and content that is relevant for all the different types of roles. So we segment our audience by the type of role, and it's one of the first things that we ask, so that we make sure that not only we present content that is relevant from a channel program perspective, but also from an individual role perspective. And I think that's, and also one of the aspects that we were discussing before that it's relevant, I think it's the easiness of changing the look and feel of the brand with the portal, right? And it's just a matter of changing the CSS file. So that was also one of the aspects that we like about this portal solution. The fact that by just updating the CSS file, you can rebrand entirely your portal without having to change anything else, without having to edit again pages, right? So, and that's also something important, because today companies, every 1 or 2 years, they change brand, look and feel of the brand. So we wanted a solution that could accomplish that easily. So yeah, I think that those are the key points, Veronica.
Thank you. Okay, so we've seen quite a lot of the portal. We've seen about onboarding our partners and using the various checklists, the various tools that we have to engage with them. But we are very much also thinking about partners who have been with you for some time, and we're focusing on stimulating repeat visits. And I'm sorry, I've lost my train of thought there. In terms of stimulating repeat visits, one of the key things that I believe is crucial here is to make sure that your partner portal provides a comprehensive gateway to your organization and to the business processes within your organization. And what I mean by that is that if you have partners and you give them access to a partner portal, and then you give them separate access to a support ticketing system, and you give them access to other systems relating to your business processes, maybe, as I said, parts ordering and logistics systems, etc., and they have to remember passwords for each of those separately, then you're not being very easy to do business with. So at Relayware, we put a lot of emphasis on making integration with other systems within your ecosystem easy, so that Relayware and your partner portal is a seamless element of your entire infrastructure. Now, that integration works in a number of different ways, and that will depend on your the nature of your ecosystem as to how you want to set it up. But we have built APIs and toolkits for integration that will support all the major models in process today. As you'll be aware, Relayware is a SaaS application, and so it's sitting in the cloud, and that is, you know, obviously facilitates that form of integration. And we have customers where they have partners who log in directly into the Relayware portal, and from that Relayware portal, they are encouraged to single sign-on or single log-in to access, you know, up to 13, 14, 15 different separate systems. but they don't know that they're 13, 14, 15 different systems. To them, they are just menu items within a single portal. And that encourages repeat use because everything they need is in one place. And it encourages them and facilitates them working with you because they're finding you to be easy to deal with and easy to access everything that they need. So that's one form of integration. Also, people use our APIs to integrate in the other direction. Sometimes people have a situation where they do actually have identity management for their employees and for their partners, and they wish that Relayware will be a receiver of logins from their centralized identity management system. So we also have sign-in toolkits for going in that direction as well. So the Relayware APIs are designed for connecting up your portal with any business application that you have. Whether you're signing on, and for the technical among you, I'll mention that we support SAML and OAuth 2. Again, very light touch, easy integration. We also have a fully documented REST API for those of you who are interested, which enables interactions of data between these various systems. And a question has come in during the call as to whether we have integration with marketing automation systems. That is not something we support at the moment directly, although we do have it in our roadmap for 2016. What the majority of our partners do is that they will integrate those marketing automation systems with their CRM system. I've got down here Salesforce connector. We will also shortly be publishing a Microsoft Dynamics connector as well. And so since the CRM is generally integrated with the marketing automation, then partner marketing needs, partner subscription information can be passed through the CRM to the marketing automation. And that's what a lot of our customers are doing in terms of connecting PRM with marketing automation at this point in time. Another customer asked specifically about Salesforce Connector, and I think you've heard from Joanne that it's a very important part of their implementation. And Relayware Salesforce Connector is a very sophisticated tool in that it provides real-time connectivity for all the major Salesforce objects, but you can also add custom objects into the connector so that if you have specially designed custom objects or custom modules within Salesforce, they can be connected through to the Relayware PRM as well. Those synchronizations can be bidirectional or in a single direction. And all the configuration, all the setup for that connector is achieved out of the box via the administrative tool that you saw in one of the previous slides. So again, we can achieve these connectors in a developer-free mode where you can modify the fields. Actually, if you add new fields to an object, it's picked up automatically. But if you add a new object, you can do that via the user interface, completely developer-free. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an answer to those questions that have arisen during the course of the webinar. If you would like further information, then do please contact us and we can give you you can have a one-on-one conversation about our integration capabilities. I'm now going to hand over to Joanne again to talk a little bit about the Nutanix partner journey.
Thank you. Veronica, yeah, actually, we have just on the last point that you were mentioning, we have over 250 fields between our CRM, which happens to be Salesforce, and our partner portal, Relayware. So absolutely, that was very critical. And as Veronica explains, you can absolutely control that in the admin tool. You can just go there, pick the field, and it will connect with Salesforce. And from there, you can determine and control what kind of synchronization you want, what kind of interaction you want between Relayware and Salesforce, bi-directional, one direction, whatever. And it's real time, which is great. And that was really important. And for us, all this kind of, when you search for a partner portal solution, we needed a system that had to live with other systems that we have in-house, that had to behave and really be able to have as many touch points as possible. So from a single sign-on perspective, for example, if we move into the other slide, our partners, come through a single sign-on system, and basically that's how we control the identity, and that's completely in synchronization with our Salesforce, thanks to the bridge that we have done through Relayware. So our Samuel single sign-on system talks to Relayware, and Relayware talks to Salesforce, and that's how we keep all our systems in sync and everything completely, synchronized. And actually, if we move to the next slide, we have a screenshot of what our single sign-on looks like. It's a system that we use both for our internal users as well as for our channel partners, or even for our customers. It's always the same system. And for all our partners, it creates an account and an active user in the partner portal, and then also as well in Salesforce. So, and also it's smart enough so that if Relayware detects that the user already exists in Salesforce, that user doesn't get created, but just gets activated. So you can control, and we were able to deploy all of that, and thanks to the team of Relayware when we did our deployment more than a year ago. And also in the next slide, actually, I added a screenshot of what our system looks like. Once you have entered our single sign-on, we present an ecosystem of tools and systems to our channel partners. And one of them being the partner portal, another being, a Sizer tool, another being a community tool, a community or, forum, and the other is a support portal where our partners can enter their support tickets and so on. So, for us, it's always, again, very important that any tool that we choose, any partnership that we make from a technology perspective, is a partner that out of the box can have as many touch points as possible, and also when we need certain development, they can really have the expertise, the resources inside their company, so that they can, customize those small things that we need to have customized for us. Actually, I remember now more than a year ago when we started the conversations with Relayware. Actually, was in the fall of 2014. And one of the questions I would be asking to all the different potential vendors that I was looking at is, all right, show me your processes, right? I would like to see what is the deal registration process that you have. What is the NDF process that you have, behind your tool? What is the new account creation process that out of the box comes? And I remember, and that for me was really an important aspect, that Relayware was the only company that was able to give me a Visio document of all of those processes. So for the deal registration, there was a process, and I could see documented in a Visio document what was that process like. Not just one slide with a few bullets, but the actual process mapping. And we were able to have really deep conversations from even before signing, the agreement with them on what things could look like for us. So that was really helpful in making the choice, at least for us, with Relayware. And that was one of the main reasons why we chose them. And always those documents have been very important, because when we have done any modification to any of the processes, we have gone back to those Visio documents and we have looked, all right, this is the process. We now need to make this adjustment to the process for us because something has changed in the way we do business, for example, right? So all of those were key aspects in working and deploying our portal. Veronica.
Okay, well, thank you, Joan. We're getting towards the end of our webinar here. The final item on accelerating revenue growth, so actually providing people with the tools that will help them to accelerate revenue growth. And I think this has been very well covered during the webinar. Joan has already talked about his deal registration process how his leads and opportunities are synced instantly through to Salesforce.com, where his own team can see them and can add them to the pipeline. And that's a key element within Relayware. And there's a whole range of tools, some of which we've discussed, some of which we have not yet had time to discuss, which can really help you to accelerate the revenue growth within your partner portal, within your partner ecosystem, by providing those tools to your partners appropriately, according to their interests, according to their needs. I'm going to change tack here now, because that concludes all the information that we wanted to share with you today. Karen, did you have any questions arising from the audience that we can answer? Maybe questions for Joanne or myself?
Yeah, we've actually had quite a few, Veronica, but kindly you guys have covered some of those over already. So, Joanne, I'm going to start with yourself. One of our attendees asked, how long have you been with Relayware, and what's the partner feedback been on your portal?
Sure. So we signed the contract in the fall of 2014. Beginning of 2015, we worked in all the deployment. You know, we did workshops with you guys and with all our departments to define the portal that we wanted, how everything was had to be done. And then we launched everything in the summer of 2015. We launched it then internationally, the new portal, moving away from the old portal that was Salesforce, and the feedback has been phenomenal. I mean, we had from day one when we launched and we sent email to all our channel partners that a new portal was live, and it was really good, the feedback. And also thank you to the fact that we had the single sign-on. Nobody had to change credentials. We were able to keep the same credentials, so it was a very smooth transition. Partners basically went to the same page. They entered their credentials, the credentials that they had been using always, and the good surprise for them is that they were able to find a really nice-looking, easy-to-find things, you know, a portal that is a modern portal, like a PRM portal that looks like the best kind of website that you can create today. So the feedback has been phenomenal. We have increased the number of people, and we have more than multiplied by 3 the number of channel contacts that come to our portal on a monthly basis. And the download rates that we have are like 50%. So 50% of the audience that comes to our partner portal ends up downloading something, ends up doing, you know, a real interaction of getting something that they can use, something that helps them to be more enabled successfully in their marketing or their knowledge. And our certifications have gone up also as well in terms of the amount of people, and because now we have more online training that is easier to take, it's easier to find, it's easier just to engage. And so all of those metrics have gone up, and the feedback has been really very good. And also the other thing that has been really good, which always is as important as the external feedback, has been the internal feedback. I mean, and now more people internally within our organization can post content, can make content available to our channel partners using the partner portal. And that process is a process that is easy, where people can self-serve by themselves without having to involve IT, without having to do the special projects or nothing like that.
That's super, thank you, Sean. Veronica, one for you. We currently have a partner portal, but it's not personalized as you described. Do you have a feel as to how impactful personalization is? And obviously this is building on what Joanne has already said.
Yes, thanks, Karen. I mean, I was very interested to hear that Joanne is seeing 3 times better engagement from his partner community than before they implemented the personalized partner portal. It's obviously metrics like that that really put this whole process and all the effort that Joanne's gone to into context, in the way you can start to see the value of it. Certainly, we, in our experience, and we do work with our customers to derive the metrics of success and uptake from the partner portal. In particular, where partners have gone through an onboarding process, we're seeing quite spectacular results in terms of their deal registrations. You can have up to 4 times the number of deal registrations and value increase appropriately where you've put together a formal onboarding process for the partners, like the one that I was saying to you and like the one that Joanne showed earlier. So really, yes, the personalization, I think, does result in 3-4 times the number of hits. And it sounds great that 50% of all visits are being downloads, Joanne. That's a fantastic stat. But the onboarding process really adds to the value in terms of the tangible sales opportunities with increases in deal registration. So those are the stats I can share in terms of the effectiveness of the tactics that we've spoken about today.
Thank you, Veronica. Just one very quick one for Joanne. I think we're coming up to the hour now. So, Joanne, you've talked about a little bit about the metrics already, but what other metrics are you using to track your return on investment?
So, yeah, absolutely. Like if I make a quick list, would be user access, logins, individuals, as well as times that people log in, number of downloads. By the way, before we had a hard time tracking with the previous solution, with the Salesforce portal, many of these metrics were not available to us. So it opened a new world for us in terms of some of the metrics, because before we didn't have those. I mean, those were not available to us with the previous tool that we were using. Also, deal registrations have gone up. And usually also as well, one of the things that we track very closely, we have multiplied by 10 the number of people that come to our webinars, and which is one of the very important ways that we keep our audience engaged, and always aware of everything that we are doing. So now we have an archive of videos of presentations. People can register for the webinar sessions that we do on a monthly basis. We have technical, marketing, sales webinars for all the different types of audiences. And we have multiplied those and the audience for those on a monthly basis by more than 10 actually since 2014 when we started everything at the fall of 2014. So those have been some of the metrics that I would say that have, really changed during the course of the last year.
Thank you, Joanne. Veronica, shall I pass over to you to wrap up today's session?
Yes, certainly, Karen. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that session where we talked about tips for creating a truly effective partner portal. And I would very much like to thank Joan Morales, because he's really talked about the real practical elements of putting together and deploying a partner portal, and the difference that it is making to his life, to the Nutanix team's life, and also to those to the partners that they work with. And finally, those metrics about adoption and the successes that they're having, I'm sure that they must have contributed to the excellent sales growth that Nutanix has been achieving recently. So thank you very much to Joanne, and thank you very much to everybody who posted questions. We hope that we've answered your questions and that you've learned something in the last hour. If you would like to contact Relayware further to learn more about our tool, about its integration capabilities with CRM and other applications, or anything about Relayware, the details are on the screen there. So thank you very much and good day.